Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor, and the host for the Webtalk Legends Podcast. This is number 62, and it's all about sharing your story. So, those that are interested in being on, please reach out to me. We'd love to have you sit in the hot seat. Not even a hot seat, it's just something that we're going to gain some massive value from things that you've done in your past. Talk about your business if you have one. We'll share things that have happened in your before your business and trials and tribulations. And if you're into exercise and health and all that stuff, a lot of value. So I hope you sit back, you enjoy, take some notes, and have some fun with us for the next 30 minutes. And again, just a couple housekeeping things, if you're popping in right now, please hashtag live. If it's on the replay, hashtag replay. And drop a comment of where you're watching us from. Yes, it's global. Yes, it's all over. I want to make sure that we are reaching all different parts of this world. So please, please, please engage. And if you like what you hear, hit the emoji, comment, pound, put the fire, whatever comment emoji you like to use it. Let me bring on my guest. We have Franklyn Crowe. What's going on, Franklyn?
Hey, Shawn, good to see you again.
Good to see you. Good to see you as always, man. This is we're gonna have a lot of fun. Where are you coming from?
I am coming from right now, Monroe, New York, in upstate. I moved in here. I'm in my kitchen.
Excellent. And it's something that this is a show that we share stories. So we talk about what you've done in your past, go into a little bit more details. I know you are a father, you're a parent. I would love to go down that path. But before we even get into that, Franklyn, can you give us an intro of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure, certainly. Okay. So my name is Franklyn Crowe. I am a realtor in New Jersey, the north part of Jersey. I like to stick around Bergen, Hudson, Passaic, and Warren, Essex County. I like helping families find their dream home, their forever home. I also love to sell houses, put them on the MLS, and get them off the plate really quickly. Um, I was raised in New York City, and then I came over to Jersey, and I was living there for a lot of years since 2008 to 21 until I moved up here and to Monroe, New York. And yeah, I still go back over there. I got a lot of clients, and I help everybody as much as I can.
No, I appreciate you being here, man. This is gonna be fantastic. I love hearing the kids in the background. My girls and my son don't want to go to sleep as well. Must be maybe it is a full moon tonight. We don't know, but
Yeah,
it's great to have you with us. New York City, man. You grew up in New York City. Tell us about that, man.
it was lots of fun. I wouldn't change it for the world. I started it. I moved. I was living in New York City, and then I went to the Bronx. So I was living over there, and I had for most of my years, I spent a lot of time in the Bronx, but I was always hanging out in New York City, where my grandmother lived in Hell's Kitchen, 54th Street, and it was lots of fun walking through the streets, looking at many different things that was going on at that time, and looking back at it now, it's all a learning experience, and I had lots of fun growing up.
No, it's great. And I have some people popping in here. We have Margarita. She thanks and welcomes you for being on the show. We appreciate you guys. Those that are popping in, definitely drop a comment where you're watching from. We love to hear from you. And I know those that live in the city, right? You don't really need to. When's the last? Did you get a driver's license when you were 17, or did you wait?
I wait. I didn't need a license.
Yeah.
I, I took the train. I took the buses. Anybody who has a car in the city, like a friend of mine had gotten his car, his permit, and then he got a car, and then he didn't find any place to park. So it was like really crazy back in the 90s. Um, he couldn't find anywhere to park. And I'm like, this is why I don't want to have a car. And he always encouraged me to get my permit or my license, and like, come on, let's get a car. Let's get a car. And I was like, nah, I'll take the trains. Later on, I had gotten a bicycle, so I used to bike a lot of places in New York. That's
There
how
you
I
go.
got my cabs. and it was lots of fun. And that's how I would travel through the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. It was just bicycle, trains, lots of fun, man. Just public transportation.
Yeah, that's a lot of people that are in the city. They don't need a car. Most of the stuff you have, food, your sites you want to go to are all within walking distance. So most of the time, New Yorkers or anyone in the city, they're pretty much in somewhat of a shape because they have to walk or bike all the time. So it's definitely something that is beneficial. But when you move out of the city, you need to have a license, right?
Yeah, so I found it that in Jersey, it's better to have a car than to take public transportation because you get around quicker. You could do more. You're free to go anywhere and everywhere. So yeah, I found it very useful to have a car. And now even where I live in Monroe, it's 10 minutes to drive here. Walking probably be like 25, 30 minutes. And that just takes too long. So a car, 10-minute car drive is go to the store. The movies is 15 minutes by driving. So you know it's pretty convenient to have a car. I love it.
And it's something that is needed, I know, in the suburbs because, yes, like you said, walking it is way too long, especially in the elements. It might be raining or snowing or whatever, or if it's 100 degrees out, you don't want to be walking. So having the convenience of having that car is key.
Yeah.
And I love hearing, again, I talked about it early on, of hearing the kids in the background. How has having kids changed you? I always talk about how it you don't grow up until you have kids because a lot of times you just live freely. You can do anything you want, but once you have a kid, now you have to keep someone alive on your clock. Things change. Can you talk to us about that?
It has been an amazing ride. When I had Sophia, my first daughter, I told her I recommended it a lot of people. You should have a baby. It's really beautiful. I wanted a son, but I got a daughter the first time around. It When I saw her, I fell in love, and I was like, wow, I'm very thankful and happy that I got a daughter. Then my son came around, so I got best of both worlds. I got my mini me with me, so it's awesome, man. I love being a father. We go rock climbing. See, a lot of things that they like, I kind of like too. So we go rock climbing out of Hoboken, or we go axe throwing or shoot, bow and arrows. Uh, so many different activities. I got into soccer because of my son. I got into baking because of her. So I'm learning how to bake and learning about the game soccer, and it's just amazing. I love it. I couldn't see myself without them.
I like how you said you're having experiences with your kids. A lot of people will throw technology at them, a phone or iPad, and say, "Hey, keep yourself quiet. I got to do something." You're actually engaging and doing things. Soccer, you're baking. What's the last thing you baked?
Well, she yesterday we baked brownies. Yeah, so we baked brownies, and but the time before that we made donuts. She loves making donuts because they're pretty easy, and she gets to color them wherever. We made for St. Patty's Day we made green donuts. Easter Sunday we had yellow and some other colors in there, and it was a twisty combination. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, and, we just keep on baking. We do cupcakes and cakes, and she likes to bring stuff into school. So kids and other people will be like, "Oh wow, this is good." She just wants to. She's proud of baking at her age, so she wants to, share her goods that are baked.
Yeah, the skill she's learning. And before kids, you weren't a baker, right? And you were into soccer. So kids change you. It's something that you do things for your kids because you're trying to help them with their skills and improving them and making them successful. And that's something that is a powerful thing. And I applaud you for being an active dad. That's what I'm always focused on. I want to be an active dad. I don't want to be sitting there, they're sleeping I can be on my phone, but if they're awake, I'm gonna have some fun and enjoy the time,
That's
because
it.
they always say what the first 4 to 5 years, if you're not heavily in your kid's life, that's a very, very important time. And it goes so fast. Like I see it now because I have a 16-year-old, then I have a 4, 2, and a 6-month-old. So I know how fast things fly. And having a boy, now I finally have my boy, I have 3 girls. It flies. And you got to make and cherish every moment of it. And how has that helped you as far as your business?
I stay more connected with my kids because now when I talk to clients, I get to talk to them. If they're like baking, I get to talk to them about baking or soccer games or my kids and I love playing Monopoly. They've learned so much from me, and I'm always teaching them. Um, if you buy houses or hotels, you could add them here, and the more you buy, and then everybody ends up being broke. But then their money comes in from the rent.
Yeah.
When we land here, so see, you don't have any money right now, but then I landed twice on your property, and now I got to give you money. So and when we go outside and we see a building, I pointed out, would you imagine if this was Monopoly and you bought that building? Right? Everybody pays you rent. There's like
Mm-hmm.
10 units in there, so they pay you rent. So these are little things that I do with my kids that stay makes me connected to my clients, because then we get to talk about our kids' adventures or what they're doing, what they're learning, what they're exploring. A lot of things, a lot of my clients are parents and they have kids,
Mm.
so
Yep.
we kind of like have that bond together. So I mean, it's good. It's a plus thing. It's a positive thing.
I like that. That's good. Some good tips there as far as building relationships, going deeper, finding out what your clients, your prospects are doing, and using that in the conversation. I like the Monopoly. That is a game that can get very, very frustrating for a lot of people and could end into a really bad arguments at the end. But it's some people play it safe and they think they're going to play it safe and just keep going around and doing nothing and collecting $200. With that, you're going to end up losing money if you're not investing your money. And the mindset you have to change with a simple game. It's with life as well. So with mindset, how do we help people with that? What are some things that you've learned, some trainings you might have gone into, or books you've read, or audio, or a podcast that you listen to? With how do you improve someone's mindset or your mindset?
It's not easy, because everybody has different personalities. But I read Emotional Intelligence 2.0. I've read the Influence book, How to Win Friends and Influence Others, by Dale Carnegie. He's really good. Um,
Yeah.
these are books that kind of help me understand people's personality. It helps me getting fine tune the motivations and helping me ask them questions so that I can get more connected and deeper with them. Right. It's helped me out a lot because I'm able to smooth over situations.
Good one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of the times a deal may be going south. I'm able to piece it together. I always joke I'm keeping my deal alive with tape and glue, sticks and stones too. Um, but it's true though. I remember one situation. I was at the closing table, and they didn't give they didn't give my client the credit that they said they were going to give her. So then, at the closing table, the seller was like, "Well, I'm not budging from here," and she was, my client was yelling like, "I'm not doing this. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm gonna cut it." Frank, we go look at other houses. I don't care, right? I'm not married to this one just yet. Um, so I was like, okay, no problem. So, I had to like smooth things over with my client. Then I had to talk to my the attorney that was there. And I had to like make sure, like, listen, make sure you get this credit. They said they would. You have it in writing. So I had to, smooth everything all over. And my client went out for a smoke. I'm not a smoker, but I went out with my client, and then just we were talking about it. So you know, and then at the end of the day, everything was good. Everything, we ended up closing. They gave it the credit. Um, and I spoke to her just recently because I like to stay in touch with my clients.
Good one.
Because
Yeah.
you sold a house or you bought a house doesn't mean I stopped talking to you. We created a bond. So I enjoy, if I enjoy your company that much, I'm going to reach out to you and continue talking to you, making you laugh, keeping you not knowledgeable about what the market is doing. Yeah, but you gotta learn. You have to be like a psychiatrist.
No, it's you're a counselor. You're there to be a referee. You are definitely something to make sure things don't, like you were saying, blowing up. You're able to diffuse everything to make that happen. So I would love to hear about, your son does soccer, and if anyone's involved with sports, there's a lot of skills involved with whatever sport someone does. What are some skills that you need in your business that you should be working on a consistent basis?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. First and foremost, knowledge. Secondly, work on your scripts as much as possible. Thirdly, there's in this particular order, I believe is the most important. And then third is just staying on top of your market, reading articles. Oh, what happened today in mortgages? What happened today in real estate? National Association of Realtors website has a lot of knowledge, and a lot of us don't put it to work. They give you statistics. They give you what's happening, nationwide. Like, oh, the government. We're working with the government to do this and pass this law. There's just so many things that you really need to stay on top of and in touch. So, those are three tops.
Definitely agree. And I think it's important to, continue focusing on learning as much as you can, practicing those scripts so they're second nature, so it's comes off authentic. And here's something I learned from, I'm going to give someone a shout out, Paul Conti. I did a connection call with him yesterday, someone you might want to check in and have a conversation with. And he said that those involved with sales should be talking to hairdressers, barbers. Why? People that are involved with talking to barbers and hairdressers, they have 5 clients a day, and they go deep. They're there I know the women are there for a couple hours. So 5 clients per day, you're over 100 plus contacts every single month. And if you have a good conversation with one hairdresser or barber, you can get and generate lots of opportunities because they now are going to be talking to these people, or they're going to think about buying or selling. They're going to recommend you because now you have that relationship with that barber. It's a great, I think, lead source for those that are involved with sales.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely gets the the ball rolling, and it gets those conversations out there. It's key. And I see that you're developing a lot of knowledge. I've been watching you on social. You've been going to different events and learning and putting in the app, applying and taking action. Taking action, coming here and sharing is an important thing that a lot of people won't do because they have a fear. And doing what you're doing, I applaud you because you're putting yourself out there on a consistent basis. How important is that to start becoming comfortable being uncomfortable? Have you heard that before?
Yeah, I heard that a few times. I'm gonna add to the list of people you should be talking to. You should talk to the mailmen and UPS delivery workers as well. They have a lot of knowledge because they are in that particular neighborhood on a regular basis. So if you see a mailman, just stop them and ask him questions. Yeah, for the other part that you were asking me, being uncomfortable is always great. Picking up the phone and dialing and, hey, we like to sell your house, getting hung up on, or saying no, or you meet a lot of good, interesting people too. When you cold calling, you don't know them from a hole in the wall, yet
Yep.
you're asking them to say, hey, you're interested in selling the house. Um, those people are pretty good to talk to because you never know if you can make a different type of connection, right? They can be a doctor, or they could be law enforcement, whatever it is, right? And then you start talking. They could be their own construction company, and they can help you out by you could refer them to do some work for one of your past clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you never know, and it's always good to just talk to a lot of people, but being uncomfortable in different places, you shouldn't really pay attention to that stuff. It's just, everybody's just a person, right? You
Mm-hmm.
walk up to them, you say hello, you start talking, right? You shouldn't feel uncomfortable or uneasy. And a lot of, and this is where practicing your scripts comes in, right? Scripts is nothing but questions that you got to ask. A particular question, a particular, you got to make your practice your scripts to make them sound like authentic, like you said earlier, and make them sound genuine where it's coming from your heart. So if you know your whole script, then when you walk up to somebody that you don't know, you can just run the script on them. And
And
then,
it's just you're practicing. You're like it's your profession. It's just like a doctor. They're
right.
always practicing their medicine. In sales, you're practicing your scripts or whatever way you're communicating with someone else. Now, here's a question for you. You got into real estate. What were you doing before real estate, and how has those jobs or careers helped you to now and what you're doing in real estate?
So I was working at a bank called UBS. There's a Swiss bank account, and I was doing hardware and a little bit of software here and there, um, keeping myself organized. That job helped, keeps me organized. Number one, it helped me talk to a lot of people that I don't know because
Mm,
and try to be like a problem solver, right? So a lot of people that in the building of maybe 15 floors, an end user might be having a problem with a computer or something. You don't know them. You go there, you fix their problem, but you also got to be friendly and approachable and talk to them. So that's one of a skill that I had learned and developed when I was at working that place. Um, and then it helps me now in real estate because I carry that skill. I'm approachable, I'm friendly, I'm knowledgeable. So I'm teaching you about whatever market we're in or neighborhood we're in. And it's just, it takes me a long way. I'm very, very happy to have that skill. And, I do my best to use it every day.
it's key. Always practicing your skills on a consistent basis. Are you one that likes to cook, or do you go out to eat a lot?
I like to cook. I like to cook. I mean, I don't have a lot of recipes under my belt, but I like, I know how to cook a lot of different recipes. So and my daughter likes to cook too. So her and we get together, and she's the chef. I'm the sous chef. Um, she tells me what to do, and I do it. Uh, and then yeah, that's it. But
Anything that you would like to cook the most of? What ethnicity are you? What is your background? Is there anything that in your culture you love to cook?
um, I'm Puerto Rican and half Irish, right? Half Puerto Rican, half Irish. I love cooking arroz con gandules. Is chickpeas, yellow rice. Sometimes I add some chicken to it. Cut up the chicken, put it in there. It tastes really good. My Sophia and I we cook it at, from time to time. It's a little. It takes a little bit of a process, so we
Mm,
don't cook it on the regular, but we cook it at least once a month. So that
that's like on a Saturday or some day you have a little bit extra time, and it allows you the ability to get things done because Yeah, I mean, some recipes take some time. You know, some people are into grilling or um, doing the barbecue. That's a long process as well when they're out there doing their thing, and it's something that it takes a skill as well, right? To follow a recipe. Some people don't follow and they just wing it, and sometimes it comes out good. Sometimes it comes out really bad, right?
Yeah, no, I still follow recipes. Only, I want to make sure that it's edible and not unedible. You
It's it's key to make sure everyone's safe. The
know.
new thing I've been trying to say and ask my guests is I love manifesting things. I love, putting things out into the world because I think the more that you put out into the world, it's gonna come true. You're gonna have that whatever it is. What are some things if you were right today, right now? Let's put you on the spot as far as in 6 months and a year and 5 years. What are we manifesting today for Franklyn Crowe? And it could be business related. It could be anything as far as, anything that you top of your mind.
Let me see. Top of mind, I want to be a better realtor, right? I always got room to improve, so I want to take more classes. I want to read more books. I want to develop more of my other skills. That I want to be. I see myself within 3 years, uh, improving my whole overall lifestyle, financially, spiritually, and mentally. So, um, you know, uh, trying to branch off a little bit more on that. Um, you know, in hopefully 5 years, I can have some knowledge, or I already have had done at least 10 flips, fixing flips, and I could have some buy and hold properties, property producing income properties, so that I can not have to work so much where I take a lot of time away from the family, because I love being with the family. And in 10 years, I'm 45 now. I'll be 55. I'll be looking to retire. I don't want to work past 60. So between 55 and 60, I just want to kind of already put myself in retirement mode. And after 60, that's it. I don't really.
We're around the same age. I'm 46, man. And it's definitely you could see and hear the fire that you have as far as helping more people. The more people you could help, the more money you can make. And it's not just about making the money, it's so you could have more time that you can experience things with your family. And that's what people are they want to make all this money, but they also are working so much and they're never around. So
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you as far as putting things on autopilot, working now so you could have a life. Like not just living to work. A lot of people they have it flipped. They're all about staying, getting in real early and staying really late at night, but you don't see your family, you don't see your kids. Like, is that really beneficial to you and the kids? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it really is. And a lot of people grow up without their parents, and it's sad because you need a mom, you need a dad, right? Just so that they can help you with guidance, they can help you with math homeworks or English reading, whatever. It's just you want to be there for them. And there's only till what they're 15, because then after that they kind of become
Yeah,
teenagers and they
they
want
don't
to,
want to be around you.
yeah, they want to start doing your own, their own thing and stuff. And my daughter's 11, going to be 12 this year, and my son is going to be 10 in a few months. So they're already getting to that age.
Yeah, it's to the time I don't want to be around that, and then they come back around. But there's that time, and they just need the space. We got to give them space. So it's definitely something I want to end on. I ask you, we did a you were on the Connection Conversation show a couple weeks ago. You're on tonight. We're dropping some massive value. You're sharing. What would allow others to get involved with coming on as a guest? What hinders others? I know the fear. A lot of people have a fear of speaking in front of some, a couple people to thousands of people. But we didn't do much. With nothing was scripted. I want to get more people, and I appreciate people like and others that are watching. How do we get more people to get over that fear and just do it?
That's a good question.
Because I asked you, and you're like, "Let's do it." Like I had some other guests for today, and a couple of days ago, I'm like, I need a guest. You want to be a guest? And you're like, "Hell yeah, let's do it."
Yeah.
Not some people are just hesitant. They don't see the opportunity that putting yourself out there on a consistent basis, sharing what's in your mind is important.
So some of the things, right? I like to scour for phrases and little deep meanings so that I can elaborate on. One of the things that I've seen that I can't remember who said it first, but I saw was people are afraid of success. And people are afraid of just they feel maybe that they are not good enough to be on front of the camera or something like that. So maybe that kind of may hinder them. I don't
Yeah, I see that angle. I definitely agree. It's
know.
something they're afraid. What will happen if all of a sudden the phone starts ringing? Because I did a simple little, podcast that you're putting yourself out there, you're being real, you're being authentic, and I applaud you and I thank you so much for being with us. And for those that are just popping in now, you're gonna have to wait till this uploads and get started from the beginning because it's a lot of value in this conversation we just had on this podcast. So, Franklyn, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you coming on. Any final words you want to share with anyone?
Well, first of all, thank you so much to invite me onto this podcast. Thank you so much for reaching out to me and extending your hand and talking to me. And thank you so much for putting yourself out there and working towards putting a lot of people together and doing what you're doing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, I just, final words is thank you. I can't say thank you enough.
No, I
Anybody that wants to do it, he's pretty easy talk. He's a pretty easy guy to talk to. You want to hop in, you jump in and you talk to him. He doesn't look scary.
depends on the day, right?
And you never know what may come from this podcast, and you never know what may happen, right? Maybe something, maybe nothing. Who It doesn't matter because you're talking to a good person here, and you just all you're doing is talking and sharing.
You're talking, and you need one person to for it to resonate with them to now call Franklyn or myself or whoever's in the guest seat for their product or their service. So it's just something that's a fun time, and we're enthusiastic. We love doing this type of stuff, and it's just being consistent and just being real. That's a key thing. So I appreciate Charlene being with us and Margarita and a bunch of others popping in right now. Wait till this uploads and catch it from the beginning, and you'll see it on other socials as well. Definitely check out the description. Connect with Franklyn. Franklyn, thanks so much again, and for everyone else, have yourself an awesome rest of your day.
Bye.